Hey everyone, the name's Eric Thor, and I know that in today's world everyone is talking about being proactive. It's so good to be proactive. You should always be doing something. And oh, if you're not doing something, you're a terrible person, and you should feel bad, and your mom should feel bad, and all that crap. There's an illusion of desire of control we all fall into. I feel like everyone is so actively pursuing control, but very few actually know the secret to control and to power and power over your life. And the people underestimate the power of being an observer in particular. What I notice that is so fascinating when I study it is that judging types do not have more control than perceiving types, because sometimes it's implied that perceivers have less control over their lives and over their decisions. This is a myth, this is a stereotype, and it's often something that leads to mistyping even. People that judging and perceiving dichotomy developed by the MBTI is not perfect. It's often stereotyped towards being organized and towards having control and structure over your life. And while there is a truth behind this, and while there is certain things that are true about this, it's not completely true. Not everyone who is organized is going to be a judging type. Not everyone who is disorganized is going to be a perceiving type, and that's more than true for a lot of INFJs and ENFJs out there. It's not that our control is visible in the sense that it is for ENTJs or ESTJs for that matter. Our control is much more subtle and a lot harder to notice, and that can also lead a lot of people to type us as perceiving types. What I noticed that is the most true about judging types is that there is something that drives you to be a judging type, and that is the need for closure. Judging types need more long-term closure and are much better at finalizing and maintaining a decision and maintaining a goal and maintaining a set path in their life. Judging types are better at and prefer to keep a certain trajectory in their life. And the word better here is tricky because you can develop your ability to follow a goal. Perhaps better is the wrong word. Perhaps the best word is, this is the ideal state for a judging type. This is when a judging type experiences their heightened control and heightened motivation. A judging type is someone who prefers to be on a steady trajectory in their life. Slowly advancing, slowly seeing progress, slowly advancing towards a long-term goal. A perceiving type is a person that prefers to have an open trajectory, which means you can keep going in that direction and then you get there. And then you notice, oh, this is not the right trajectory for me. This is not working, so I should probably change trajectory. And that worked for a while and that was great for a bit, but I'm starting to get feedback from the environment, the information that is telling me I should switch. And I start to feel like that's a good idea too, I should probably switch. And overall, this creates two different types. Types that tend to prefer to follow a long-term trajectory, even if they are getting a lot of resistance from others. And types that prefer to keep a changing and adaptable trajectory. But this does not completely decide if you are a judging or perceiving type, because what I notice is there are a lot of repressed judgers and repressed perceivers. And the problem here with being a repressed judging type, and I can fall into these habits myself as a judger, is that sometimes we start to doubt our own structure and our own planning skills. What I notice is for judgers, if you start experiencing doubt and if you start experiencing pressure from other people to change your trajectory, you can feel that initial temptation because you're going to get a reward from changing your trajectory. You're not going to get the closure on what you wanted to do, and that's going to bring up stress, but you're going to get motivation. And a judging type that does change their trajectory according to external demand is going to feel motivated still, but they are going to feel stressed because they are compromising their path and they're compromising their needs and they're compromising their structure for instant gratification. Similarly, a perceiving type is going to prefer to have an adaptable trajectory plan. Like, it's easy for an adaptive perceiving type to see, okay, this option is favorable to that option, and right now in that situation that option is better than that one. But for a perceiving type, there can be demands for rigorousness. There can be demands for keeping on your trajectory, and you can start feeling like there is so much pressure from this world that you should be a long-term proactive type. There is so much demand for us to finalize our decisions, to not make changes, and to keep on a steady rhythm. And that can create perceiving types that favor and that have a lot of control and that favor a lot of control. But these types are going to feel, more stressed because they keep noticing that there is better options. They keep noticing that there are other ways to go, but they keep having to tell themselves to keep on track. Often what I notice about these types is they can appear a little compulsive in their judging. They have developed their judging function, and they can be organized, and they are on time, and they are doing everything according to set structure, but they appear a little neurotic and a little stressed out in this. They appear tense because they are like forcing themselves to resist out their gratification. They're forcing themselves not to change, not to waver, not to explore options. And the most fascinating thing about this, a thing that really settles if you're a judging or perceiving type, is when you experience that you have control. Because the tense judging type, the tense ENFP or ENTP set on a trajectory more in the ESTJ or ESFJ riff, are going to feel like they have no control over their life. It's like the interesting contradiction of being an ENFP. Like, the more control you seek to have, the less control you have, and the more boxed in you feel, and the more narrow you feel, and the more you feel like you aren't making your own decisions. Because you keep telling yourself not to make changes. You keep telling yourself not to explore options. You keep pushing yourself to follow this set protocol. And it's not working out.